It's been a while since we've done any Lego Star Wars sets. We're gonna change that today. And in fact, we're going back to where it all started. Greetings folks, welcome back to the channel, The Brick Sweethearts. Yes, you see it correct, we are gonna be doing another Lego Star Wars set, which we haven't done in a long time. And today we're gonna be doing set 75376, the Tantive 4. Now, we have been building a number of different themes and collecting them as part of our backlog, so it's definitely been a while since we've actually gone back to Star Wars. And funnily enough, the Tantive 4 is in fact the first thing that you see when Star Wars first came out, so it's kind of thematic that we're going back to Star Wars after this long period, and we're going to be looking at the Tantive 4 itself. Now, this was on my list and it was something that I was planning on getting in the future, but as part of our move to the new house, we did invite some friends over, and our good friend Aaron got this for us as a housewarming gift, which was very kind of him. We definitely did not expect, we were like, oh, a bottle of wine, maybe a bottle of champagne type of thing, a cake. That's what we were like expecting. And yeah, they surprised us a lot, and we got the Tantive 4. Of course, he knew that I liked Lego Star Wars, so yeah, what a great housewarming gift, I have to say. Now, this is part of the Starship collection thing that they're doing, where they're getting ships from the movies and they're making them into this miniature scale. We did have the Executor class Star Destroyer, which was released, I believe, for the 45th anniversary of the movies, and that was something that I do have in my collection, and I'll bring out to kind of compare when I have this built. They've now kind of created it into an actual sub-theme within Star Wars, where they're going to be doing all these ships to display, so I am looking forward to building the new Tantive 4 from the Starship collection, as I do have the experience from the previous one, so I'm looking forward to see how they improve and how they get all these details. So what we're going to do in today's video, we will go build this away and then give it a quick review, see how it went, and then I'll also bring the older version of the Executor, which of course came out before this collection was released, and I'm assuming there's going to be more ones that are going to be added. There is the Millennium Falcon, which now it makes sense to get so that we have all three of them, and once I get this built, I'll compare it to the Executor and see how it went, and yeah, I'll give you my thoughts and overall review on the set itself. So without further ado, really glad that we got this as a gift. I'm gonna go open it up, build it, and then afterwards I'll come back and give you my review on it. And here we are folks with the finished ship itself, and what a spectacular set it is. I have to say, visually it just looks really good. The way that it's captured with the white pieces, the red accent that kind of runs through it, and these nice little stickers that were added to show some of these other extra details on the beginnings of the engine. Hopefully, let's see if I can show you that without it falling apart. Always very nervous to move this type of ship around because it is obviously on a stand, but it's a fairly stable situation, so I'm not too worried about it. Now, this ship was actually quite surprising in the building process. It was 7 bags, and it felt like it went really quick. I was actually able to get this done in a short amount of time, which was unexpected, as I was thinking it will probably last quite a number of hours, since there might be small intricate details. Now, there are details on the ship itself, but the way it's done and the way some of these parts are used to create, let's say there's a nice little rounded section there, it really helps bring it together very quickly. So this was a super fun build. straightforward, and I think it came out pretty good. Now, I have seen some criticism online that the neck area is a bit too thin, and I can understand what people are saying, but I think that considering the scale and how they have to make it much smaller in comparison to if they were making a UCS version where they can go as big as they want, I do think that they still managed to do a decent job when they were getting the profile and the visuals of the ship squished down into this shape. I don't think it's going to be one of those things where, let me say I take off the nameplate here and it's like, oh, I don't know what ship this is. It's fairly obvious, and I think that most people will be able to visually make the connection that it is a good replica of that ship. So build wise, it was very enjoyable. I did like how the engine eventually came together as its 3 pieces, so it's pretty much a sandwich back here the way it was built, and it's nicely connected with rods going through it so that it keeps it stable and it keeps it, intact as one piece. There was nothing too complicated overall, so it's a fairly quick and straightforward process. And let's see if I can try and show you some of the details. We do, of course, get, if you can see here, these are supposed to be the escape pods that we see from the movie. And if we turn it around, fairly quick to do that, eh? We can see that one is actually missing right there, and that is supposed to symbolize the one that R2-D2 and C-3PO pop out and go towards Tatooine. There's a nice little reference there. And I know it's technically a spoiler for those who haven't built this, but I believe most people would have heard that this is contained within it. I don't actually know if it's possible anymore, I don't think it is, but here in this section of the build, these panels cover up a tiny scene which is just colored studs, but we do have 2 golden studs to represent C-3PO, 1 white and blue for R2-D2, and then 1 white and I believe brown, or is it red? I believe it's like a dark brown to represent Princess Leia. So it's supposed to be, and we even get a reference within the instruction manual that says this is the scene where Princess Leia is giving R2-D2 that little disc that has the Death Star plans, and C-3PO stumbles upon him, and eventually they pop into the escape pod and off they go. So that's a nice little Easter egg that they managed to implement inside. And I don't actually think we did a video for the Executor class other ship that we have, because in that one it also has an integrated Easter egg inside of it, and I'll talk about it when I pop it up. So let's just get back into here. Now we do get some stickers in this set, but nothing too complicated. There's 2 of them at the head of the ship where it's like the ears of the front head. Those are stickered, and there is a total of 8 stickers on the engine. So all of these designs here, and it's the same replicated on the bottom. So everything that you see here, you just double it and put it on the bottom, and those provide some nice details of the little intricacies, like little wires, maybe some exhaust ports, etc. So those are nice little additions to the top of the engines, and of course you see them at the bottom. For those of you who are into the firepower of the ship, we do get some small little turrets, nothing too major, because I don't believe that this ship is really designed for fighting, Star Destroyers. I think it is just a ship that is used to transport important dignitaries, etc. So nothing too major when it comes to the turrets on the ship. And lastly, of course, we do have the wonderful stand, which I believe it's the same one, or like the same design as we get on the Executor, except this time we have a tiny little plaque. Let me see if I can just pop it off. We have a tiny little plaque that says the Tantive 4, with of course the Star Wars logo. And this was released as part of, I believe this is the 25th anniversary for 2024 is the 25th anniversary of the Phantom Menace. So there is a number of sets that have this brick. So overall I am quite happy with how the build came out to be. Straightforward enough, and visually I think it looks great. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring in the Executor and put it up here so that we can kind of give a small little comparison. Hopefully it can fit here. I might have to move the camera back a tiny bit just so that they're both in here. Quick little comparison, nothing too major. Yeah, so give me 2 seconds to set up. And here we are with both sets side by side. Obviously the Executor is much longer just because the design of it itself within the movie was a fairly long ship. Now for those of you who are curious and are not aware, this is obviously not the same scale as they are within the movie itself or within the universe of Star Wars. The size of the Tantive would probably be, I would say, maybe like the size of one of these studs on the Executor if we were to actually shrink it to the correct size, since a Star Destroyer is fairly small. I believe there was supposed to be a Star Destroyer here attached with a clear rod, but I actually don't know where that is. It must be in somewhere with the rest of the Lego in one of those boxes that I have. Don't actually think that the Tantive is somewhat similar in scale within the universe. Of course, this is shrunk down to fit the Starship collection. I do believe that there was a Nebulon B frigate, if I remember correct, and it was some sort of Comic-Con like released ship from what was back then the Starship collection. Well, technically there wasn't a proper collection, but done in a similar design with a stand. I don't know if I'll be able to get that. Obviously it probably will cost quite a penny since it was an exclusive for some sort of convention. I'm not entirely sure which particular one, but moving forward I do want to get the current ones that are available, and I think at the moment the Millennium Falcon is next, which I have to say I have seen quite a number of people take the Millennium Falcon from the Starship collection and then start turning it into other ships. So that set itself seems to be quite being able to transform it into quite a number of ships. So that's very interesting. Now I did mention earlier that this ship also has a Easter egg. I'm actually not sure where exactly it is anymore, since it's being built quite a while ago now. I think this was a few months ago when I got this and built it. It's probably actually last Christmas that I obtained it, because I remembered that it was on some good discounts, and that's why I got it, because it was like perfect, nice little treat for myself. So this one was built quite a while, and let me see, I was wrong, that it seems to be actually the 40th anniversary and not 45th. So scratch what I said earlier, it is 40 and not 45. That was part of that celebration that happened, I think last year or the year before. Again, I wasn't really around when that celebration happened, so I only managed to see this specific one from there. But yeah, I am glad that we have 2 ships now. Thank you again to Aaron for this wonderful housewarming gift. I hope you enjoyed this video. Do drop your comments down below. What do you think of the Starship collection? I am quite a big fan of them. I'm looking forward to getting more. Make sure to like this video, it really helps us out. Check down below, I should have some Star Wars themed playlist, and there's plenty more content coming soon. So until next time, take care folks.